Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. So, in this video, I am going to take on the Extreme Agility versus Super Strength stage of Super Battle Road. So this is one of the original monotype stages for Super Battle Road. And yeah, very similarly to the Super Agility one versus Extreme Strength, we're kind of going to rely on some cards to get us through the stage. But however, this team is a lot more well balanced than the other team, I would say. It's definitely built with all the cards pulling a bit more of their weight individually, and also there's a lot less free-to-play cards in this run. The main reason being is there's not like the widest selection of free-to-play Extreme Agility cards, but also there's kind of, I want to say, there's some good solid Extreme Agility units that you can get nowadays on the cheap, or that you can get basically just as options. So it's really nice, it's really good, and we'll kind of take a look at the team from here. So we have the EZA free-to-play Extreme Agility Cooler. You have to get him if you want to get the EZA Prime Metal Goku. So he's a very good card to have. You obviously can get him in preparation for that, and he's super helpful for this. Then we have the free-to-play Raditz and Vegeta card, which is from the 5th year anniversary. Also a pretty decent card. Not something, honestly, that I would say is too amazing. They do some decent damage and they lower attack, but beyond that, they're not someone that you're going to keep on main rotation. Then we have the Omen, I think he's called. I can't really remember his name fully, but basically he's from DB Heroes. You get him from the DB Heroes event, so you're either going to have to take it on with story keys, or you're going to have to wait for the Heroes event to come around again this year. And he's a great support. It really helps out the team. He gives key in attack and defense to all extreme types, plus additional to Artificial Warriors. We don't have too many Artificial Warriors in our team. I don't think we actually have another one, but he's pretty good. He also lowers attack and defense on his super attack. So getting multiple additional attacks, that's really going to help you out. Then in one of our main rotations, we have a Zamasu unit, and the we have Zamasu and Goku Rose as our one combo, EZA Goku Rose. They're obviously going to do a tremendous amount of damage together, and they're going to push things to get things done. Zamasu with his damage reduction is going to be perfectly fine without items in this SBR specifically as well. And then obviously Goku Rose, even though he's a bit low in defense, he will also be perfectly fine because he's going to be dishing out a massive amount of damage. So that's the current strategy. In the other rotation, we have Golden Frieza, the EZA Golden Frieza as well. He also does pretty well, but he's just really there to be kind of a brick wall. He has 90% damage reduction, so that's really going to help. In terms of other units you can use for the stage, I mean, there's tons of Extreme Agility units that you could use. You could use the AoE Final Form Frieza. You could use the Wicked Bloodline Lead Metal Cooler. You could use the Wrathful Broly. You could use the Extreme Margin Vegeta a lot. I mean, there's plenty of units that you could use that are good. You could use Baby, LR Baby, who's also really good. So there's plenty of units that you could use to take on the stage. I mean, Kid Buu, Agility Kid Buu, Bukalo. Yeah, there's a lot of options for you to take on this stage and to get it done. Babidi and Deborah, from the battle shop. So yeah, there's plenty of options to take. Obviously I'm just taking the units that I believe could be done. I would take the battle shop Babidi and Deborah, but I haven't put any cars in them just yet, and they're only at 1 dupe, but they'll probably be an amazing unit to take as a free-to-play option over some of these cards. But for now, I think this team is very friendly enough, I want to say, for new players. and at least 4 people who've been playing the game to get an idea of how to build teams and all of that. But yeah, so anyway, like I said, Zamasu is going to be perfectly fine with his damage reduction in this stage. Like I said, these original SPRs don't hit as hard as some of the other SPR stages, so they're a great place to stop by, build some mono-type teams, and those mono-type teams will really help you take on other content and things like Ultimate Challenge. Zamasu gets a heal each turn, which obviously also helps, and Golden Frieza can link up with him. So the only thing they're going to have as a problem is obviously key links, but I mean that's just the price we pay for building a team in this way. So yeah, but luckily the orbs pretty much managed to fall pretty decently for us for the majority of this SBR run. We don't really have any issues. In fact, we don't use an item at all in this entire run, I believe. As you all know, I've said way before that no item runs mean nothing, and they do not mean anything to anyone. If you want to do them for yourselves, then you're welcome to do them for yourselves. If you want to test yourselves to see if your team build, especially if some of these older stages, can really take it on and beat it without an item, then that's fine. Awesome. I hope you enjoy it. But for me personally, I don't go out of my way to do no item runs, because I believe the way they make you evaluate units is not necessarily the best way to evaluate them. But yeah, but if I do get any or do any or eventually decide to do them because I give in to the propaganda machine that is YouTube or Reddit, yeah, just ignore those videos basically, because that's me drunk on power. But yeah, so as you can see, we've done pretty well so far, cleaning things up pretty decently. The only units that are somewhat disappointing are obviously the Raditz and Vegeta. But yeah, in terms of leads for this team, you could run quite a few. You can run a Wrathful Broly, you can run Zamasu because he's an all types lead. You could run Martian Vegeta, who's one of the original type leads, and then from the extreme agility side, I think the original lead is Super 17. So Super 17 would also be super good for the stage, especially now he's got his ZZA. I unfortunately don't actually have Super 17, like at all, like not even a single copy of him. So I couldn't really use him as a lead here, so I had to kind of roll with the next best that I had, which was Zamasu. In terms of like easy aid, 120% leads, Super 17 is probably one of the better ones. He's really good. So if you do get Super 17, just know that he could probably also solo the stage at this point with his ZZA. So it's all pretty good. In this fight here, obviously things are a bit dicier, as some of you will know. When you fight 2 enemies instead of fighting like 5 or 4 or 3 or whatever, they hit harder than the 5 enemies. You know, the damage gets kind of split between the 5 enemies, whereas between 2 it's a bit more even, at least for the most part, with usually one of them being the main lead. So I kind of just focus on Vegeta. The usual strategy with 2 of them is, unless you have specific buffs that come from fighting 2 enemies, you generally kind of just want to maximize on killing 1 to be able to manage your threat a bit better, especially if you have stuns and seals and all that. In terms of this team, that is probably what is lacking, by the way. They don't have a reliable stun or seal or anything. They have 2 attack lowerers, which is okay, obviously. You know, attack lowering is super helpful, but when it's on rotation, it can sometimes lose its stacks, because attack lowering will stack on itself, because attack lowering lasts 3 turns. And also, you know, stuns and seals are a bit more of a purer form of mitigation. Attack lowering will change something like 40k damage to 36k damage, whereas, well, you know, on the first time, and then as you lower, it'll get lower. But stunning obviously just stuns them, and sealing similarly prevents you from taking random supers. So yeah, this team is probably lacking some seals and some, you know, stuns. A unit that would solve that is the Final Form AoE Frieza from the Namek Saga. I don't have him. He would solve that problem though. So maybe if you do have him, slot him in somewhere in the team. He's very helpful. And then from the LR's perspectives and all that, there's not too many that do much. Bubbly and Deborah bring a bit of utility into the picture, so if you do have Bubbly and Deborah, you can obviously roll with them. And then from the Ginyu Force, there's no Guido or whatever that can, give you a little bit of stun and damage and attack reduction. So yeah, for now this is pretty much the best that we can go with. We're going to get the heal here from the Zamasus, and then we're going to be able to take our Trunks, and in the last fight we're going to be able to get our Dokkan attack. I think we finally managed to get that in the correct fight for once, so that's a plus, being able to see that whole strategy come into fruition. You can see here that I'm just trying to sum up the orbs, trying to make certain that I don't get the Dokkan attack. So I was just trying to see where I could select, like, non-agility type orbs or rainbow orbs or whatever the story was. So yeah, Zamasu coming in, Zamasu's damage, really good. Obviously he's running under a full lead because it's both Zamasu's, and he's got the Goku Rose giving him support and good linkage, and he had support there from the Ohm. Yeah, there we go, it's Ohm. So yeah, that's why his damage was so high, but I mean it's still very impressive, still very good numbers, with no link leveling or anything like that. Very good numbers. So we'll go into the last fight here. We'll have our Dokkan attack, and we should be able to clear this up pretty decently. These 3 unit fights I generally find the hardest, because it's not like 5 unit fights where like, oh, I've got Cell and the Cell Juniors, so you can eliminate like a Cell Junior quickly and kind of focus on Cell to just mitigate things. These 3 unit fights are a bit weirder because usually, like, for example, the Goku's tankier than the other 2, but the other 2 are still somewhat quite tanky, so it just becomes a little bit difficult to know who to focus on and what to do with them. One of the similar fights is when you fight Goku, Vegeta and Piccolo. It's just a little bit not confusing, but yeah, it's a little bit like you don't really know exactly where to roll things. Like, you don't know exactly who to focus on sometimes, and it can be a bit discerning for a player. So, but yeah, we get the Dokkan attack here. Really fantastic. Managed to do quite a bit of damage to all of them. Obviously it's good that we get it with Zamasu, even though he's not transformed anything. He's the highest damage dealer on this team, barring Goku Rose, and you'll see he does a very good amount of damage to everyone. Then we have Frieza here. Frieza obviously doesn't do a lot of damage unless you get 6 orbs with him, but he still does a decent amount of damage for this early SPR stage. In terms of the later SPR stages, his damage becomes incredibly minimal, but he's really there for his tanking, which is his biggest skill that he brings to the game. Basically, if you start a turn at above 40% health, Frieza's gonna be able to tank anything. As you can see there, almost got pretty low at the end, but I wasn't too concerned because we had the heal from the Dokkan attack coming in this turn, so I could gamble on getting a bit low that turn. And we should clean up pretty much everything here with this fight, pretty much. So yeah, you can see there we got Zamasu coming in, big damage. With Zamasu, I just do suggest building crit on him. It just seems like it's a better skill build. He obviously only lowers defense, and if you do transform into the final stage, you're gonna want to have that massive attack stat that he brings, crit. It's gonna be a lot more helpful. So here we're gonna kind of wrap things up. Not too concerned about anything, even if Goku's attacking first, because we have Zamasu's damage reduction will reduce anything there. And you can see we haven't used an item yet, so yeah, if you're big on those no item runs, there you go, congratulations, but it's not a hard stage to do that on anyway. And also, I mean, like I said before, they're not something you should do to evaluate units. But here we go, Zamasu's going to clean it up. Overall, pretty clean run. Nothing too much to worry about. I think all the units in this team especially performed better individually as a cohesive unit than maybe my super agility one, where it was kind of like, okay, well, Goku SS4 is going to take over and that's it. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. And everyone enjoy their weekend. Will enjoy their day, I should say, because you never know when you're going to watch this. And yeah, I hope this helps you guys out. This will be almost all of them done. So yeah, cool. Cheers, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.